Hi, this is Charlie giving you Friday's live trading video. This is actually Thursday. I'm recording this. Now, you're already going to see that it's actually gone 10 a.m. So, what's been going on? I've made a major boo boo. I'm in the trading room with our traders. So, if I bring that up, you can see our traders are all there in our trading room. Now, the problem that I've just had is that I tried to, when I first started the recording this morning, I had the camera on. The camera conflicts with the trading room, so it hurts everybody's ears and it creates an echo. So I unplugged the camera and carried on recording. And we've taken 2 trades so far today already, and I've just finished the recording actually because we were 50 minutes in, and I said, "Oh, that'll have to be enough. It's too long a recording now." And only to then start formatting the video and to see that actually the sound went once I'd unplugged the camera. It messed up the whole sound. So I'm now just going to do a review with you, but it is non-farm payrolls today. And I was planning on trading with the guys here this afternoon as well. It's only 10:34 at the moment, but we have already taken 2 trades. So I'm going to review those 2 trades with you, and then um, um, and then what? And then we'll come back for the the non-farm payrolls and see if there's another trade then. So what happened this morning? So I actually traded quite early this morning. So back here it was it here? What time was that? Let's have a look. No, it wasn't that early. No, it was 7:05. So it was over here. I think when we were breaking out. Yeah. So it's about 7:35 or so, 7:40, and I hadn't even got officially on the mic. When I'm in the trading room, we start officially at 7:45, but I'm always sat here for about half an hour beforehand. Anyway, I'm doing my analysis and then saw the euro was starting to move, so quickly jumped on. So we jumped into a trade here. Didn't have time to figure out the position size, so it was a bit undersized. But as it turned out, it was a loss anyway. So that one lost £140. I'm going to show you that shortly. It was a tight stop because it was all momentum trading here this morning. It had to go. So we got in a 74, 75 up here, and then got stopped out at 65 or so down here. Anyway, and then it settled, and then up it came. And what I was saying on the video earlier was, well, if this comes back up into that same zone again, then I'll get long again. And that's what we did. And then we got long here, and then we sat on it for a bit, and it went sideways for a bit, and then up it went. And we had a target at 112.88 for the first 2/3 of the position. And then what I was doing in the video was I was just trailing the stop on the third unit, and we kept on trailing it below these lows, below the bars, until it got, well, and then I trailed it up to about 95 or something like that, and then it stopped me out there about 95 on the last position. Now I've done a load of analysis on that. We were talking about the daily range. We still haven't done. Is the daily range here? Look at it compared to recent days, apart from this one day here. But generally speaking, it's still not done a big range or its average range as yet. So the scope is there for it to still do some more. Now, if we come down to the 4-hour charts, on the 4-hour chart, this is what we've done so far. This was the reason why I took that 2/3 off at this prior high here. But the potential is still there to get well into the 113s. Maybe later today after non-farm payrolls. I know full well what non-farm payrolls are like, and the potential is that we just swing both ways. We go up, we go down, and finish somewhere in the middle. So that is always the potential with non-farm payrolls. But this certainly has the scope to expand its range yet today. So it's possible that I get another trade. Now, we have already had a couple of trades, so but I don't think we've done much with those 2 trades just yet. I had one loser, one winner. So I'll bring those up in a second. But the potential is there. If I go back now to the hourly chart, that if we're just going to consolidate here, that if we pull back a little bit into non-farm payrolls, then I'll be looking for some evidence that we're going up. And if we start pushing up, then I'll try and hop on board on the long side again to push into that anywhere north of 113.10 zone. Okay, so that's what we're looking for there. Then let me just get the snipping tool up and just take a screenshot of those positions there this morning, because it's always important to show you what actually happened. Oh no, that's not done it. My mouse is really playing up at the moment, so see if I can get it to work this time. So there we go. Looks like there's lots of trades, but I have to split them up because of with Saxo Bank, who I'm using here. If you want to take partial exits, you've got to put your entries in split as well. You can't put one single entry in and then take small amounts off of it. So you have to split them all up. And that's why I didn't get enough entries in on both of these this morning. So the first trades were down here. These were the first three. So I got 3 entries in on the first, and then I got 3 entries in on the second trade. So the first one trades early this morning were at 74, 75, 74. And those lost 43, 44, and 44, which is about £130, I think. £130. And then we made on the next one, because it came back up into the same zone, the irony was that the entries were around the same as the earlier trades, and then made about 170 odd pounds on that. So all small stuff really. Basically the position, I didn't have time to get the position size calculator going. I was doing all this. It was all recorded, but it messed up. Anyway, so position size calculator. So I was a bit under position size basically. I'm supposed to be risking £200, roughly £200 or so per trade. Obviously it was less than that. So we're in a small profit for the day, but we'll see if we can get another trade off later. So it could well be that next trade will be likely the last trade. I don't think I'll trade twice through non-farm payrolls. So whatever happens with that is either going to push me into a losing day or a winning day. So we'll see. That's if we get a trade, of course. But I'm going to be looking to trade, so I suspect it will happen. But apologies about that. That's really annoyed me today. And the only reason I'm not recording this on Friday is because I just can't guarantee that Friday is going to be any good price action. I just don't know what Friday is going to be like because of the Independence Day, July 4th weekend. The markets could be a bit quieter tomorrow, hence why I'm recording this video here today. So there you go, though. You've seen the trades, but that's annoyed me that I've done 52 minutes was on that recording. And there was loads of content on there. And you've missed it all. So sorry about that. My techno issues caused that. So like I said, I had the camera running. The camera caused a problem for the guys in the room. They were getting loads of echo, so I unplugged the camera, but that actually turned all of the sound off for the recording. So hopefully this one's working. Otherwise I'll be really annoyed because I don't know if it's working until I've finished. Anyway, I'll stop the pause. Press pause for now. Okay, just back now, and we're just coming in. We've got 1 minute to go to non-farm payrolls. I'm not going to be trading, I don't think, straight away. I want to be on the long side. As we've already, I say we've already, I'm forgetting that the mess up on the first video recording this morning. But we've already taken 2 trades today, as I've already shown. I'm here with the traders. We are the path of least resistance is to the upside. Having said that, what I've just been saying to the guys in our planning session is if we pull back, that's fine. I'll still be looking to go long if it pulls back and then reverses. If it just pulls back and then it carries on going, then it could well be that I'll short the pound, in fact, because the pound dollar, I can see the potential for it to do a larger retrace if it wants to. If they don't want to go higher, I can see that potential. So for now, let's take it back to the euro because we've only got a few seconds and it's going to start going. Like I said, there's no hurry straight away. I'm just going to watch it initially anyway, and then we'll see how we go. So from the upside, if we do go to the upside, then we've got the potential to go, well into the 113s. So I've got a deal ticket, I think, ready. So let's see how we go. So I'm going to change this to 5-minute chart. We can see it all there. Actually, yeah, I'll keep it up that way. So let's see how we go. Get a real deal ticket ready, guys, because if we're going to start coming up, then mate, where do I want to put this? So let's see if we can get in. Oh, well, it's going well. So let's just This is where we want it to be. It's on the long side, so and we've got the potential to go in and out at 13. So if I was to get in here in the early 90s or somewhere in the 90s, where am I going to put a stop? This is always the problem when you get an explosion of volatility. You can see it's moving around a bit. You've then got to find a place to put a stop and then still get a risk reward. So I'm not going to press it just yet. Just my hands on it, but I know my cursor's over it. But probably we would need to have a stop. It would have to be relatively tight. Again, a bit like today's trading has all been about momentum today. Different types, different weeks. I do different types of trading just depending on what the markets are doing. So if we're going to hold up, if it is going to hold up, then it'll be momentum again. Right, this has got to go, and away we go. So we've had this initial movement to the upside. What I really want is to see a nice strong close there on the 5-minute chart, because non-farm payrolls are renowned for going in one direction, then reversing and going in the other direction. They're not always what I call directional, and what I mean by that is they'll go both ways, and then, funnily enough, the hourly candle would end up on a spinning top candle. So it looks like we've jobless came in at 4.8 million versus 2.9 estimated. But again, the actual news doesn't really interest me. What's of interest is what's the price action doing. So, because I'm sure many of you who are watching these videos say, yeah, the amount of times when I've seen news and the news itself would have been bullish for the dollar or bearish for the dollar, and then the dollar's gone and done something the opposite. So I don't really get too caught up in the news itself. It's more just an observation as to see what the news was. So at the moment we can see we've had that little flurry of activity, and it's quietened straight down, isn't it, at the moment? So I want to see this 5-minute candle get back up there. Now, if it can get back up there and close near the highs, then I'll be looking to get in into the next candle, or into the next candle I'll be looking to buy on a break of this high. But as far as stops are concerned, where am I going to put a stop? 94.80. Oh, okay. Even if I get in right up here at 94 or so, then the stop will probably be about 84, so about 10 pip stop. Okay, so that's where we're at. So and I'll be putting 2 units on this one, so 2 lots of 50,000. This morning's trades were 3, but I've already said to the guys we'll do 2 units, and then we can still do okay out of this trade with the potential run. Get fingers on the buzzers, guys. Here we go. Right, long 94. Get the other one in off screen. Let's see if that one's taken. I think it has. Right, I'm just going to get my stops in off screen. I'm going in here. Now, this either going to be over very quickly or not. So I'm going to put my stop in 112.84, which 83 to you guys in the trading room. And let's get the other one in, because that's where it will actually stop me out. 112.83, 1.12. Although I put it in at 84. So I've just put those in. We've exploded higher. It's had its chance to come down, then it's come back up again. Let's see if this can go. Now, if it doesn't work out, like I've said, I've only put the 2 units in this time, just to sort of protect the overall. It's not protecting the gains for the day. It'll still turn me into a negative, but just whilst we're just having this volatility, so to speak, I'm just keeping it this way. So if something else happens and we start coming off, and there might still be another trade yet. But anyway, I've put the two units in there, and we're just going to see now. Maybe we'll see whether this can hold. Now, if it doesn't, then we'll then look at the potential of this rolling over, looking like it's not going to hold. So I think I'm about to get stopped. Nearly. It's at 85. So my orders at 84, so it needs to go to 83 in order for me to get stopped. So I haven't even got time to put this on the app at the moment, because I'm too busy talking our way through this, so I won't even bother putting it on the app. It's only me and the guys in the trading room here at the moment. So that's where we're at. Now, what's happened then? So we've given back those gains, and I've gone in up here. Let's see if we can get up there. Now, if we break these highs, then I'll start to manage the stops maybe a little bit. We can do all that sort of aggressive stop management, but at the moment it's only a 10 pip stop, remember, anyway, or 11 pips by the time I actually get stopped, so if that happens. But if we break out, where am I going to be looking? I'm going to be looking to 113.10, take half off there, and then look for to run the second half beyond 113.10. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. It's just a case of seeing, can we hold up here, and can we now go? The path of least resistance I've been saying all day was whatever to the upside. In fact, what I'm going to do, because it's potentially could be so fast, I'm just going to put that first target take profit order in at 113.10, just in case, because of the potentials there for a fast run. And while I'm doing all this recording, it's using up a lot of juice on my computer, so I've put that first target in there at 113.10. Now, if it rolls over, like I said, the scope is there to, if it does start to properly roll over, now we've had the initial reactions like we've had. If this decides to start selling off this afternoon, it may be that I end up shorting the pound dollar, and I'll go back over to the pound dollar. So I think there's still a bit of scope here this afternoon. We could be on 4 trades for the day today, if that scenario plays out. So just playing a bit of a waiting game. Now, it's possible that it comes down because my stops were pretty tight, stops me out and then still goes up again. Again, I could still get in on that again as well. So there's scenarios galore here this afternoon, and so we're just going to have to see. Path of least resistance is still to the upside, but always we have to recognize what is the alternate scenario. So now I won't need to be rushing into a short side trade. So if that happens, I'll probably be waiting a bit longer until beyond 2 o'clock. It's 1:37 at the moment. So I would then be wanting to wait for a confirmation on that pound dollar if they start rolling over. Otherwise, then I just sit with this and we'll go for 113.10, and then we'll just start to trade manage it from there if it can get up there. Okay, so I've been talking non-stop through this. Part of me wants to press pause on the recording because otherwise the recording just gets longer and longer. We're 16, 17 minutes into that recording, but at the same time it's quite nice to just being given the commentary as it's happening. And I think whilst the market's at least moving around a little bit, it's moving a bit fast at the moment, as it's tinkering around, it's nicer for me to just keep the recording going rather than pressing pause and coming back to it. So let's just see for the moment whether this thing can break out. It's trying, but can it do it? It just needs a little bit of oomph now, and we'll see. So there's not really obviously anything else to do. It's just a case of can it go. So now if we close up strong here, we've got about 138 and a half, 138 and a half, and 30 seconds. If we close strong up here at 96, then I can start to move the stopper just a little bit below the low of this current candle. So if we do get a nice strong close right up near its highs at the end of this 5-minute candle here, I'm watching the candle here on the right hand side, so then I'll be able to move that stop to, looks like around about 86. Okay, so to the low of that candle. It's only a couple of pips or so, but we can start to. It's such a shame the recording from this morning didn't work because it's all been quite aggressively managed today. It's just the way that the types of trading that have taken place today. It's all been aggressively managed today. So which is quite nice because it makes it more fun, and we were talking about this in the trading room today, that it makes it more interesting when it's all fast, and you feel like you're doing a lot because you're moving the stop and maybe it's getting to the target quite quickly, and so it does make it more interesting, of course. But anyway, so far it's holding, but anything can happen yet. We will be looking to trail those stops up to, like I said, about 86 by looks of things. Let me just click on that and see. Yeah, be about 85 for the guys in the room, but I'll put it in at 86 on mine once we get there. But I'll tell you what, I better put this on the app. What did we get in at? 94, right? So now I've got a little bit of a breather. I'll just quickly put it into the app. Long. Just quickly doing that. $112.90. 94. And the stop, 80. What did I put it in at? Oh, 83. Bear with me a second here. First target, 113.10. This is the reality when I leave the recording software on. That you're getting the reality of what I'm having to manage here. I'm talking to the guys in the trading room. Obviously, they're just hearing this as I'm just going through it, get this recording anyway. But you're seeing what actually goes on. So the management, I'm having to deal with my stops off screen at the moment. But we didn't quite close at the right near the highs. So, but could I move the stop? I guess I could, but I think I'll leave it now for the sake of it. I'll leave the stop where it is. We didn't quite close up near the highs, so I think I'll leave that stop where it is. But the two tickets, let's bring them up now, so that we can actually see them. I'll get rid of them because they're not meaning much at the moment. But so there's the two tickets. The two entries. 92. Oh, trying to find my entry. It was a 90. Oh, okay. It was a 92 and a 95. Oh, I put on the app that the entry was at 95. It wasn't. It was at 90. It was. That was correction. Oh, I've put it at 93. Correction. That entry. Oh yeah, 94 is all right. That as a combination because it was a 92 entry and a 95. Yeah, that's fine. So those are the two entries. We'll see. You know, again, I keep saying again because the initial recording, the live recording from this morning, didn't work. But if I get stopped, these will just disappear because the stops are in wherever they're in. I can't. 80, 84, like I said to the guys, 83 is the actual level where I'll get stopped, which is why their stops need to be 83. We'll see. Looks like we're about to get stopped. So all of a sudden, it's all over. So. And there it's nearly there. So as soon as that goes below 84 on the offer, then because that's where my stop is, then that's where I'll get stopped. So it's looking like that's going to be the case. So it's got just above 84 there, which, like I said to the guys, they need to have their stop at 83 because it's just the way Saxo Bank work theirs. Theirs won't stop out. Even if I put the stop in at 84, it needs to go below 84 on the offer. I say this every week, but that's where it needs to be. So the actual stop for people on different accounts is at 83. So looking like it's going to come down, but if this is just it and it starts coming back up again, I think that would be a really bullish sign if it did. But if not, it looks like the 15-minute chart is going to be a bit negative there now. It's giving back all those gains. We've only got a minute to go until that candle closes, so it's looking like that's not going to happen. So what could happen? Well, if we do still come back up again, I'll trade it again on the long side. I'll get in there again, back up in the 90s. Looks like it's about to stop me. It's about maybe a pip away. So it looks like it's about to take me out, sitting right on top of my stop, as you can see. These will disappear. As soon as that goes to 80, below 84, then I'm out. There you go. It's done it. Right, so I'm out. So out for now, but it's not really doing a lot. There's not a lot going on at the moment. We've had a bit of upside. That's the path of least resistance, and it's now coming off. So we'll see if we are going to get a sell-off or if this is just going to sort of just a bit of noise and then it's going to creep its way back up. If it creeps its way back up, I want to be back in those upper 112.90s to have that run back up into those 113s. Let's go and have a quick check of the pound dollar. Might be a bit weaker than the euro. I haven't looked at it yet, so let's have a look. About the same. So of the two of these, if they were to start coming off this afternoon, I don't think they're going to, not enough, then the pound dollar would have been the one. But as it stands, if we come back up, I want to be back in on this euro. So it could be I just get taken out on noise. We get all the way back up there, and I'll try it again. and then that really will be it. Let me have a quick look at the trades. You've already seen the other trades this morning. So where these two entries, let's see if I can find them. I can just do a screenshot of the whole lot, can't I, again? So let's just do that. Once the snipping tool is there, let's take the screenshot so you can see all of it. So like I said, I just opted to just put the 2 units in there on this one, just to protect the downside. And so these are the last 2 units, the 92 and the 95. All these 6 are the ones that I've already shown you from this morning. So 39 and 49 pounds. What's that? 50 and about 90 pounds. It's put me marginally into the negative for the day now. But I still don't think this is necessarily over. I really do hope that we can come back up, because if we can come back up, then this is definitely on for another attempt. And because I keep talking about that path of least resistance and the fact that the euro has yet to expand that daily range. It doesn't have to. Let's go back out to the daily candle. It doesn't have to, but because we are starting to edge our way into a holiday weekend, a holiday environment, even though the markets are open tomorrow, with the July 4th in the US. But the daily range is still not that big yet, so it has the potential to still expand that range. And the path of least resistance, as it stands, is still to the upside in order to expand that range. So I'm now going to press pause, and we'll see if this can creep its way back up. I'll be getting back in again. Press pause for now. Okay, just back, and we are seeing these markets come off. Now the potential is that this could all be noise. I'm now looking at the pound dollar, and I did say earlier that if I'm going to take a trade, I haven't taken it yet. If I'm going to take a trade on the short side, it would be more likely to be the pound dollar, because there's this scope for it to come down to around about 124.40 or so. So maybe that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to put a unit in, and I haven't quite worked out the position sizing at the moment relative to what I've done so far today. So let's get a unit in. 81, short at 81. Now I could very easily, and what I've already said to the guys, I'm going to put a stop up at 125.10. So very easy to get chopped up here on a day like today when you've had a bit of news. It feels like it wants to come down and then it doesn't, but I'm giving it a go. So I've put that 1 unit in there because I've got a wider stop on this one. So where I was using 2 units before, but they only had 10 pip stops, this is a single unit with 81, 91.01, so about 29 pip stop there. So I'm just going to get the stop loss put in. It's still an aggressive stop, but just in case it just wants to go, stop loss, let's put that in 125, 1.25, 10. Okay, right. I'll press pause for the moment, hitting on resume. Oh, where's it gone? It's disappeared now. Where's that gone? Oh, there it is. Oh, it's working. Phew. Right. Okay. Just back. Okay. I was having a problem with the recorder then. Okay. So I have just been stopped out on that cable. So I've been chopped up a couple of times here this afternoon on the euro long and now the pound short. And that pound short just lost 121. I've just been adding it up with the guys, the dates, trades. It works out about minus 170 quid across those 4 trades so far today, just because of from the position sizing perspective. It's just worked out today because I was reducing those position sizes, so it meant that we protected the capital a little bit. So it's, when you think that normally I can risk £200 per trade and I'm at £170 down with 4 trades, 3 of which were losers. So it's sort of, obviously the winning trade was a 1.55 risk to reward, but nevertheless, as it's turned out, well managed, but in that regard. But I was just saying to the guys, I still don't think this is necessarily over yet. Now, could it be that I've been stopped out on this pound dollar? It's bounced. It's ironic that the pound has bounced more than the euro, and yet the pound had a nice key reversal type candle, bearish engulfing there on the hourly charts. Looked a lot more bearish than the euro, and yet the euro hasn't bounced as quite as much as the pound has. So sometimes it goes that way, doesn't it? So could it be that I've got stopped out of the pound and it still rolls over? Yes, it could. And that would just be unfortunate if that was to happen. I have to just dust myself off in that regard. But it's 3 Thursday afternoon, and I still don't know if this is definitely over yet. Because I was saying to the guys, if the euro gets back up, I know this is the pound chart, but if I go to the euro, because I'm more interested in the euro on the long side than the pound. But if the euro was to get back up, it's getting a bit sloppy, Giuseppe, isn't it? But if it was to get back up above sort of 112.85, I'm going to start getting interested because I still think it's got that scope to get at least to 113.10. So I'm not really going to go anywhere here today, this afternoon. I'm going to stay monitoring this. I may get up and go for a little walk around the house in a bit or whatever because I've done my back in today. But it may still be that there's a late afternoon trade that maybe I end up having to hold it overnight. I don't know, but it could still be the case. So some days you get to a certain point in the day and you say, that's it, I'm done now. Okay, the markets are over, but I genuinely don't know if these markets are over yet. And in fact, if the euro could go either way. If the euro goes down, there is the potential, looking at this euro that I've been talking about, that if I'm wrong and it doesn't want to come back down, it doesn't want to go back up. You listen to the 4-hour chart, but if it does want to roll over and it gets back down into the sort of 112.12 to 112.20 zone, down into this whole zone down here, then we've got my 200 period moving average here on the 4-hour charts. That really would come into play because we haven't actually tested that yet. So if it does roll, now that might take in, like I said, into tomorrow because it's a 4-hour chart. But if it does roll down, then by tomorrow morning, that's what I'll be looking for, is a run down to that downside there. Maybe I'll leave the recording open because the recording device open because I'm not going anywhere, sort of thing. So there's no rush. So maybe that's what I'll do. Anyway, so we'll keep an eye and see what happens. I'll press pause for now. Pause for a bit. So what time are we at? Like I said, 3:15. I think I'll go and get a cup of green tea and then come back to this. I don't really want to go anywhere. I want to keep monitoring. And I've got a plan there for the euro, but it's this pound, and that would just be a real shame if the pound comes off and I've missed out because of the stop, basically the stop being too tight, being in there. But from where I've got in, I've got to try and put a stop which looked reasonable enough. But nevertheless, let's have a look at the smaller time frames because let's see what's going on there with the pound. Okay. I definitely think that there's the scope to trade it again. So that one isn't over as far as I'm concerned. Scope to trade it again. And let's have a look at the euro because the euro is that bit weaker as it's turning out at the moment, I think. I'm not going to be wanting to trade, as I keep saying, I'm not interested in trading the euro on the short side. There's too much stuff in the way, even though it's coming off, it's held down better than maybe than the pound has. But I will start looking at the euro down here if it is going to come off. So yeah, okay. More to still do yet, just potentially. One way or another. I quite like it when there's opportunities on either side and I'm just waiting for the market to go. The only thing is if they just go really slow and we get to 4 o'clock or in an hour or so's time, 4:15, 4:30, and then I'm sitting here thinking, yeah, this just isn't going to happen now because there's not enough movement. So if they've died, so be it. Then it really will just be a case of, okay, we'll see how it moves overnight or whatever. But with the euro weaker at the moment, it's starting to open that doorway to looking on the short side tomorrow morning. So we'll see. But anyway, the pound is still a potential trade as well. So I'm going to go and get a cup of green tea and I'll be back. Okay. I'll see you, Tim. If you're maybe he's already gone. Um, yeah. So the pound is still at the moment holding up better than the euro as it stands. So what time are we at? 20 past 3. Let's kind of look through some of the others as well. Quick whiz through them again. Well, the yen came all the way off, didn't it? But I think the S&P's held up well. Oh, well, it started backing off. Okay. Oh, let's have a look at gold again, because gold had backed off, hadn't it? The interesting thing with gold. Oh, blimey. Okay, gold's not making up its mind, is it? Let's have a look at the daily chart of gold. Actually doing all right at the moment, just holding, isn't it? Yeah. So back to the pound and the euro. I liked the pound because I could see the divergence activity going on, and so and this nice 50 here untested since breaking out a few days ago. So I like the pound in that regard. But the pound, oops, is just holding up that bit better at the moment than the euro. If I go to the equivalent hourly chart of the euro, it doesn't look quite so good as the pound. So, but I can't do anything with it. That one. I've got nothing else going on other than an observation that it's coming down. Let's go back to its 4 hour chart. Again, anything could happen, but certainly that 4 hour 200 will come into play at some point if it starts getting down into that zone. So it does mean I'm only if I do get in on that at some point, if it comes off probably into tomorrow. Bear in mind, we've only got how many more 4 hour candles? One more will take me through to 8 o'clock tonight. So realistically, we're looking into tomorrow. And if by tomorrow morning it's right the way down here at 112, then it could be there's nothing on. Having said that, if it gets down that low, then I might be looking for it to come down and breach these lows anyway. So even if the 200 by that stage is a bit above them, then I might be looking for something like that anyway. So it's still a possibility. I just can't justify it at the moment because this could still be white noise, and the euro could still then want to come up from here. It's still the path of least resistance at the moment is still to the upside. Looking at these charts, this chart here at the moment, until it starts to roll over. So on getting below those moving averages there. So it really is a case of yes, the euro's a bit weaker there. If I can see some weakness coming in on the pound, then I could short it. So what time are we at? 3:27. Let's go and have a look at some of the smaller time frames. A bit like what I was looking for on the euro on the long side. If we can get a negative close below even maybe the 15-minute bands, then I'll entertain that. If we can get a negative close below those bands, so it's yeah, CRX Dan. It's still a potential. I just one of those days, as I've said, where I feel like it sort of doesn't feel like it's over. It might be if we just start not really doing much, and they've definitely the markets have slowed down now at the moment, but it doesn't mean to say they couldn't still have a run in one direction or another, even if it means I have to hold it overnight. So that's where we're at. What else is going on then, folks? We've talked about practically everything today. We've talked about the Earth being flat. We've talked about Taylor's exit strategy, the Texit, which I'm still not quite 100% of. We've talked about a band play, which wasn't a band play. We've talked about everything here today. But no, we all joking aside, we've covered off um, a bit more on the back testing on the bands. We did a good session on position sizing this morning. We've done all sorts, so it's been an interesting day, and plenty of trades as well. So not necessarily. I always want trades to be positive, but you can't always have what you want, as Mick Jagger once said. So, oh, what have I done here? Oh yeah, cable. Got to put the cable trade in. Minus 29 for third. So let's look at the R return for today. So I've had a -1 based on the position sizing all day, or in relative terms, right to that first trade where I took 3 units, and it's all based on that same position sizing. So I had a -1, a plus 1.55, which put me at 0.55 up, then a minus zero point 0.7, which puts me at minus 0.15 down, and then a minus 0.35. So I'm minus 0.5 down. It feels a lot worse sometimes on the day, but the winner was a decent winner. So minus 0.5 for the day. It's still a loser though, so I'd still love to be, it not to be like that, and it still feels like there's stuff going on. So and this pound could still end up. How far did it go? Oh, it went up to 125.20. Okay. So if I was to get in, well, 125.20. So if I got back in at, let's say, 85 at some point, let's say 85. So that's 35 pip stop and a target of 40. So the risk reward isn't great on it, but I still would like to take it. So it looks like I'm going to have to take this again, which is a shame because I know some of you guys will have had a stop a bit higher, and you're probably still sitting on this thinking, oh, it's coming back for me. So looking like that way. What time are we at? I've got 15 minutes to wait. If we get close below the 15-minute lower band, then I'll be looking to get back in this and hopefully don't get chopped. But I do feel that from a although it's been 3 losers, 1 winner, like I said, it doesn't feel, and it's not. I haven't lost much today from the position sizing perspective, and so what did I say in total? 170 quid. So I feel like I've definitely still got plenty of powder to still get wet. So and the euro could still end up being a short trade at some point. So but I'd like to take this pound. So it's 132. It's coming off. This is where I'm going to have to start making a decision soon. I was about to say with the pound. Hold on a second. Let me see. Just realised my. Hold on. Let's just minimise that. Drag this down if you'll allow me. Just realise that's a bit. That's better. So I was saying the 15-minute chart is really what I'm focused on. Yeah, I thought you would have done, Ollie. Yeah, but it's the 15-minute chart is what I'm sort of focused on here. At the same time, though, I've got 12 minutes to wait for that. But at the same time, I don't necessarily want to wait too much because I can see the pounds, the euros weak. I think I've just been taken out on a bit of Did I say 132? Oh, did I say 132? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, well, 332. Okay, right. I'm going to get a deal ticket ready, hadn't I? Because like I'm going to be going in. Blimey, what a day. Okay, right. I'm going to be going. Okay, is that working now? Yeah. Okay, it's working. Okay, I've just put a position in short on the pound. I've just gone short again. I've just done it, but I didn't. I pressed resume on the recording, but I'm having problems with my mouse today, and I've only just realised it hadn't resumed. So anyway, so we've shorted again at 81. So let me bring up the ticket if I can find it, because I haven't actually put the stop loss in yet. Let's just get the stop in. Oh, it was 80 actually. It was 80, 80, 80.4. So let's get the stop put in. So I'm going to put the stop at the high of this candle, 125.21. The problem that I have with this, and I've just put the one unit in, so to speak, so I'm keeping everything relative today to how I started. So because of the way that I started the first trades today were only 3 units, I'm trying to keep everything comparative to how I've started. So I've put the 1 unit in on this. The only thing is, like I said when I was just recording earlier, I've only lost 170 quid so far today, so I'm well under. Even though I've done a fair bit of trading, but I went through the R returns. I had a 1.55 risk reward return, and then some of the losses, because my position sizing was smaller, those losses were smaller. So I'm actually only down 0.5 for the day so far. But it could be that I can do some sneaky day trading on this, because if we start to pick up, which is what we're looking like here, then I might actually be able to add to this position. So I've been trying to trade this with a sort of an intraday stop, and I didn't get away with it, did I? So let's see if how that goes. So if we do come down some more, I might be able to do. If I go back down to the smaller time frames, then I might be able to do some adding in to that. So I'm trying to keep it comparative. If I lose on this next trade, then that'll lose about another 130 quid, something like that. So it'll take me then up to minus 300 for the day. That's my total risk for the day, so to speak, which is still really nice and comfortable. It's just a excuse me, a standard sort of stop out, really. I always say between 200 to 300 quid is what I risk. So what I should be risking per trade. So let's see how this gets on. Looking for this pound dollar to work its way down to this 50 moving average down here. I've been talking to the guys in the trading room, and I think if we're going to come off, and I'm watching the euro dollar as well, which is coming off, so let's go and have a look at the euro dollar. The euro dollar has that potential. Look at that. The euro dollar has that potential to come all the way back down to my 4-hour 200, as I said, down here. So it's funny, today I've been on the mic since, I don't even know what time now this morning. I came on the mic at 7:35 this morning, and I did take a break for an hour and a half late morning from 11 o'clock, but it's been pretty much full on all the way through. But this euro starts getting interesting, the way it's going down at the moment. I know that overall it's a bit of a mess, but I love seeing how markets will come back for key moving averages, and that is certainly a potential now. The path of least resistance was to the upside all day, and as it's turned out, it's now decided to do reversals. So I'll happily trade it on the short side if that's on the euro at some point there. It needs to, like I've said, I've estimated the 112.20 zone, which enables it to come down. This candle here, this is a 4-hour candle. This is going to close actually in 20 minutes time. So we'll see how everything's starting to look, and if it's starting to roll over. I suspect we're not going to have momentum, which is just off screen, but you never know. I'll keep an eye on that. Coming back down to the hourly chart then, and the pound dollar, that one's, as it's turned out, doing, like I said, doing that bit better. But I suspect if the euro is going to carry on coming down, then that pound will as well. Pound doesn't have to come down in comparative terms quite so much necessarily, but it's still worth me taking that trade to see if this can play itself out. If it doesn't, and I'm wrong, I still haven't put that stop loss in yet, have I? No, let me put the stop loss in. I thought I'd put that in. Oh no, I have. 125.21. Yeah, there it is. I can see it off screen. So if it doesn't play itself out, then so be it. But I can certainly look back at this one and say I was trying to be cute with it, and I'll certainly hold my hand up on that one in tomorrow's confession session, even though the guys are all here with me anyway. But certainly in the confession session, I can hold my hand up and say, yeah, I was trying to be too cute, trying to get a better risk reward, and it didn't pan out on that one. But and now I'm not going to get a great risk reward out of this. But let me go out and have a look at the 4-hour charts, because I've targeted that. I'm targeting that hourly 50. Is there anything below that? Well, it could do. It could obviously come off more, but somewhere in that zone is what I'll be respecting. But if I can get a second entry, then that does open up the window to being able to get maybe a run if it's going to come off some more, because I can see the potential for the euro to come off some more, and maybe the pound does as well. So let's go back to the. I'm doing all this on the fly. We're 58 minutes in. Yeah, it's going to have to come down some more yet, but if the pound can come down a bit more, then I'll do that. So I'll press pause for now. Okay, just back here, and we can see that the pound has come down a bit for us. It's just having a bit of a bounce now. I'm just going to drag the order box over, because I'm going to put an order in down here at 124.37. Take profit. Did I say 34? 1.2437. So I'm going to put an order in down there for now. I was just saying to the guys in the trading room that this could bounce overnight, and it looks like we're at 20 past 4 in the afternoon now. I don't really want to have to finish the video, so I might just keep this video on pause and then finish it in the morning. If we do just bounce now over the next several hours, then I'll finish the video off in the morning. But and because this is not going to go out to you until tomorrow anyway. So anyway, the order's in down here, but I was just saying to the guys, if it does a mild bounce overnight, that 50 is going to gradually start coming up. So what I'll do is I'll probably then keep that order down there, because I think the scope is there for it to come lower anyway. So that's probably what I'll do. But for now, that's what I'll do, and we'll see what happens. So the pound has come off, and the euro has come off as well. So let's go back to the euro on the hourly chart as well, so you can see the euro's come off as well. So back into that whole range. This is certainly a potential to short tomorrow on Friday, but right now at 20 past 4 in the afternoon, I think it's time to leave that alone as well. So I'm going to keep this on the pound dollar, but I'm going to press pause. We're an hour into this recording now, and we'll just see what happens as far as that pound dollar is concerned. Okay, just back now, and it's 20 past 5. So it's been quite a day today, with 5 trades, is that right? 5 trades in total, 3 winners, 1 loss, and an open trade which is in profit at the moment. So it could be 2 winners, 3 losers. As it currently stands, on the losers and the winners, the bank trade, the closed trades, it's on minus 0.5 of an R for the day, so it's really not that much. But and we still got to see what happens with this last trade. But anyway, I thought I'm going to wrap this up because it's 20 past 5. But this isn't over. The pound trade isn't over. We're going into Friday tomorrow. So, but my concern is that my software, if I leave it overnight, if my broadband goes down, it will collapse. So I'm going to stop the recording now. Obviously, if this hits target overnight, then that will will have hit the target. Let's have a look at the live open position on that at the moment. Let's just get a screenshot of that. If I can, there it is. So I'll show the live position. Let's get this up as it currently stands. So this is the live position. That was the previous cable trade that I got stopped out on, and this is the open position currently. So net on the cable elements, it's at minus 57 as we speak. But if we get down to target, then that will go into positive on the cable trade. Now, like I said, I'm going to press stop on the recording because I'm concerned about the software overnight. I've done this before and then it all mucks up, and there's an hour and two of this. But we'll do part one, part two. So I'll start part two, I guess, tomorrow. And unless obviously this comes down tonight. If it comes down tonight, then I'll just do a little summary this evening. So I'm going to press stop for now and then we'll go into part two.